Well. Twice in a row. We did it, South Africa. This is the second time in a row, and I don't think this has ever happened before, where South Africa has, these close encounters where we managed to edge our opposition by 1 point. Not the most convincing win, but then again, South Africa going into the semi-finals, obviously they were, the favorites. But as soon as I found out that, we're going to be playing in wet conditions, that's when I was a little bit, anxious, because the Springboks tends not to do well in wet conditions. And that's exactly what happened. South Africa did not play well. As a matter of fact, the Springboks didn't even get to play whatever game plan that they had in mind. England dominated us for the more. Even they too were struggling. There was knock-ons. It was just knock-ons galore. There were a few moments of, a few scare moments where Curtly Arnser, the ball was, a grubber kick was kicked towards him. He tried to, regather, missed it. The ball was fumbling all over the place. And then Joe Merchant was, approaching. I thought there was going to be a definite try. And if it was, there was going to spell some serious cries for alarm. We also kicked a couple of grabbers. Villeroux got to, almost score, but kicked it a little too deep into the dead area zone. The dead ball area zone. It was bad enough that we faced France in such a close, nail-biting matchup. But I did not see this one coming. Even after the match, the Springboks weren't as happy as they were when they narrowly edged France in the quarterfinals. England really wanted this revenge from 2019. Oh, they were ready. Fortunately, look, in England, I hear that they don't like Owen Farrell. They keep booing him. But I don't quite understand, because he's your most experienced capped player and your captain, and pretty much like your best player on the field, even though he cost you guys a penalty when he didn't want to release the ball, and then Ben O'Keefe was like, okay, advance 10 meters, because you're being cynical, Owen. It was not that match had me at the edge of my seat. 20 minutes in, I was concerned. We were trailing 12-6. And thanks to, the likes of 100 Pollard, with regards to Manie Libbok, he wasn't playing bad, but those up and unders was kicking wasn't very good. The whole team didn't even get to play. Both teams was just fumbling the ball, But if it was dry conditions and we got to play some running rugby, I believe the outcome would have been, a little bit more convincing for us to beat England. We were lucky. We were fortunate. England didn't score tries. England scored 15 points off of our penalties. England had the upper hand for the most part. With regards to Manie Libbok, again, he didn't play bad, but it was kind of surprising when he got subbed in the 30-minute mark before halftime, 10 minutes before halftime. And that's when I knew that, the coaching staff were panicking. I knew there was like a panic call. Andre Pollard got brought on. He also didn't play well. Again, all of us were just scrambling. I was kind of screaming at the TV of our decisions when we got the penalty, whether we should kick for touch or go for poles. I was screaming at the TV and say, "Okay, Manny, go for poles." But it wasn't Manny's call. It was either Sia Khaleesi's call or the coaching Rasi and his disco lights, robot lights, signals coming from the top. Why didn't we go for points? By halftime, the results would have looked a little bit more decent if we just win for points with all of our penalties, all of them. We opted to go to touch our first two penalties. Andre Pollard came on, and the game it was still bad. And then after halftime, Eben Etzebeth was subbed. Dwayne Vermeulen was subbed. Oxen Che came on. Look, Stephen Kitchoff and Francois Herbert did not play well in the scrum. I mean, they were not good in the scrum. Oxen Che came on. Only then the momentum of the game shifted in our favour. And so when Oxen Che came on, that's when we started dominating the scrums. Okay? Oxen Che, he's brilliant in the scrum. I think he's our best scrummager. He's never made any mistakes. He's never made us concede penalties. It's usually Francois Herbert, knee to the ground, forwarding in the scrums. When Oxen Che came on, it was a better result for us. And then we scrambled. We managed to get the upper hand, and we won by 1 point thanks to Andre Pollard's kicking. This weekend is the one that everyone has been calling for. He's been asking for. The big matchup between a dream final. It's finally here. The dream final between the All Blacks and the Springboks. This is going to be a rematch of the 1995 Rugby World Cup final. This World Cup has proven to be very intense. It hasn't been like the previous World Cups. Other World Cups have been interesting in their own right. 2015 was interesting. We met the All Blacks in the semi-final. It was all a kicking affair, right? Now the All Blacks, they managed to edge us with 2 points, and we've been salty ever since. 2019 was a little bit more of a breeze. Okay, well, no, sorry, it was less of a breeze, but it was more straightforward. There were some controversies, but in this particular World Cup, there hasn't been many red cards or many yellow cards. It's just been a match of intents. Now, this World Cup, the Northern Hemisphere teams, namely Ireland, they were ranked number 1. France, they're the hosts, they were expected to go far. England, they were carrying the hopes of the Northern Hemisphere teams, and for the longest time they would say, yeah, now it's our time, and you Southern Hemispheres, your time is up. No. Our time, it's 2 Southern Hemispheres left. Ireland were expected to go far after they beat us narrowly. They lost to the All Blacks, and you have to feel for Johnny Sexton. I mean, this was do or die for Ireland. This was their golden generation to make it past the quarterfinals, and they lost out by 5 points. They were short by 5 points. France, they had it in the bag. It was like tit for tat, and we managed to pull through, and it was vengeance for us. For them stealing our Rugby World Cup final, our winning bid to host our Rugby World Cup here in South Africa. So face les Bleus. England was really seeking revenge, and it's been intense. These matchups have been very intense between these tier 1 nations. It's been very close margins. These singular moments that define, the complexion of the outcome. And now we have the ultimate one. The whole world is going to be watching. All Blacks versus South Africa. I pray that it's going to be dry, sunny conditions. Because if it's going to be wet conditions again, we're not going to get to see the best performances because both teams are going to be fumbling. I'm sure the All Blacks might have an easier time in wet conditions. They've proven it. Unless South Africa were lucky 3 times in a row. You know how they say, third time's a charm. Yeah. Let's just pray for dry, sunny conditions, and we'll see who wins the Webb Ellis Cup the 4th time around. It's going to be close. Hopefully it's going to be close. Look, at this point, I've been a heavy critique of Rassie Erasmus and Jacques Nienaber, and I still stand by it. But they've earned our respect in terms of, going very far in the competition. Win or lose this time around, I still hope they'll drive off into the sunset and we'll have Johan Ackerman as our new Springbok head coach in our new coaching staff based on merit. But good luck to both sides. May the best team win. So yeah, thank you for watching and good luck, Bokke, for South Africa.